Hey guys, I'm gonna be completely honest, I've been putting off making this video for like 3 weeks now. I don't get to come home very often from the hospital. I probably get to come home like 2 full days this week, and I think last week I got to come home for 3 days, which was amazing. You don't realize how much a hospital takes out of you until you have to be there for like days on end, and it's very frustrating, especially when the person that you're helping in the hospital doesn't realize why she's in the hospital, why she's getting poked with needles like constantly. And it's just been a hell of a ride. And we've been in this hospital, well, actually we switched hospitals to Kendrick in Louisville or Lexington, I can't remember. It's Louisville, I think. And the little bells you hear in the background is Kai. He just woke up, so he's a little antsy. But we've been at the Kendrick Hospital for, it was a month a couple days ago. And we've been in a hospital since the 14th of March. And we're looking now at about anywhere between a week and 3 weeks to getting out of the hospital completely. And if we don't, we may go completely insane. I know I'm already halfway there. When they tell you that being in a hospital can drive you nuts, it usually, from my experience, it usually takes about 10 days of constantly being in the hospital. That's why people encourage you to go home every now and again. So it's kind of, it just hit me really bad last week. I actually had to take my anxiety medicine and everything just to be able to function like a normal human for however long that's gonna last. I'm actually feeling some anxiety right now because I'm taking Kai to my brother's tonight, which actually will probably be like in a couple of hours, and then I have to go back to the hospital first thing tomorrow morning. And that's a 2-hour drive to and from the hospital, so it's not like I can just come home at any point in time. I don't know my way around the area, so my mom actually has to come and pick me up while another relative sits with my aunt. Yeah, and then it's like 2-hour drive, not even counting traffic. It's a long drive. And if we don't get out of this hospital within, at max, 3 weeks, let's say, we've already talked about just bringing her, discharging her ourselves and taking her to the Frankfurt Hospital, which is anywhere between a 30 and 45-minute drive if I break the speed limit, and I can actually drive there myself. But this was actually going to be my wrap-up video, but it kind of turned into a life update. So I think that I'm just going to do my TBR jar in this video. I didn't intend for this to work out that way, but I guess I kind of needed to vent a little bit. But before we get to the TBR jar, something else that has changed recently is, oh, let's show you Kai first. Come here, you little hussy. Kai got shaved. No. I left his ears and his little tail the same, so it has all the black in it. And he has this gray strip going down his back, so the black hair may come back. But if not, I don't care. I still love him so much, and he's so adorable. He's even more adorable now because you can actually see his eyes, and you are just so lovable right now. I love it. Mwah. So Kai got himself groomed, and he's gotten all of his shots. I've actually, every week I've been home, I've had to do something with him. He's had to go to the vet twice. He got groomed the one weekend where we didn't have to go to the vet, and then actually this weekend, yeah, I haven't had to do anything with him this weekend, which is nice. Oh, poor baby. Go take a nap. But besides all that, a couple days ago I actually decided to start a writing journal because I haven't really said anything about it, but I haven't been writing since my Aunt Sheila got put in the hospital in February. February 5th was the last day I actually attempted to actually, write. I was home from the hospital that day, and I just took the time to write, and I got like maybe I think like 100 words of chapter 8 written, which was big at that time. And since then, since February 5th, I haven't written a single word. I have absolutely refused to look at Project Valentine, and it's driven me a little bit nuts because all I want to do is sit down and write. But I know that if I I'm home for a couple days, I have the time to write, but the minute I get started writing and then I have to only write a couple days and then completely stop and not look at it for like almost a week, it'll drive me even more nuts, because I love this story so much that I constantly want to be working on it. And you know, my brain has actually come up with like several different genres that this same plot that I'm using could fit in. It's already, I can tell you this, it's a contemporary with fantastical aspects, but it's mainly contemporary. So, but it's also, my brain has fitted into sci-fi, which actually really worked more than I was expecting. It's fitted into dystopian, which is, I think, where it fit in the best. And then urban fantasy, like straight up urban fantasy, and taking out all the contemporary stuff in it, which works like slightly better since the book is already part fantasy, has fantastical aspects in it. But dystopian just fits so well, and I'm like, could I actually like rewrite the first 15,000 words I've already written and just, you know, I'd have to replot and outline and everything like that. Everything would have to be redone. But I'm gonna think more on that tomorrow, which is April 29th right now, so I'll think about it on my way to the hospital tomorrow. But I wish my brain would shut up sometimes, because it's like, just because it works so well in these scenarios, I intended it to be a contemporary, and my mind just needs to stop trying to fit it into all these different genres. Because this is something else I haven't said about Project Valentine, is when I am writing it, I am kind of picturing it as an anime. And when people read it, I want them to read it and visualize it like it's an anime. Well, not really. They can visualize it however they want. That's, you know, up to the person. But I want it to feel like they're reading an anime. I know there's been like maybe one book I can't even remember what book it is now, but I know I have it somewhere on my bookshelf, where the person said that they felt like they were watching an anime while they were reading the book. And I really want people to feel like that when they read my book. So, I mean, I'm still in the first drafting stages. It's still very, very rough. But, I mean, that's how I want it to feel once I get the entire thing finished. And, like I said, it kills me that I haven't been able to work on it. And that's why I started a writing journal. Now, I can already tell you right now, I did like the beginner pages and stuff. Like, I have an inspiration page just in case I get discouraged. And then I have writing craft books. I have problems remembering what second person is, and then there's like 3 or 4 different kinds of third person. And technically, I mean, I already knew what like third person limited was and third person multiple, but I didn't know omniscient, which I don't know if I'm saying that right at all, or third person objective. I didn't know what those were, and they were just so hard to remember that I just decided to write them down. Then I have archetypes, which I found this on another YouTuber's channel where they use this, and if I remember, I'm gonna have to find what website I got this off of, and I will leave it in the bottom of the screen if I remember. But they have archetypes for hero, heroine, and villains. And then I got copy work, which I don't know if you guys have a different like definition of copy work than what I found, but it's basically you take someone else's words, like a quote or just something someone said, or like if you're having like a full-on conversation with your family member, just stuff like that. Something you hear maybe a stranger say down the street or something. Not down the street. You pass the stranger while on the street and you hear them over, you know, you hear them say something and you use that and you put it into your own work. And that's basically what this is. I mean, there's some things in here that's just stuff that I've like seen on Pinterest that's not a quote, but it's like something inspirational. And then I have several things here that's been like said in conversation, and I have like a little miniature conversation right here that me and my sister had. So that probably won't make it into Project Valentine, but it may make it into a book in the future. Then I have character names, which I split into male, female, unisex, surname, and used. I already have a long list of used. Scary to think that those are all from Project Valentine, and it started out with only, bless you, it started out with only like 3 characters, and it turned into like 12. Then I have project ideas for future projects. Then I have title ideas. Project Valentine has no working title at the moment, and I'm kind of sad about that, but I'm not rushing it either. Project Valentine is perfectly a good thing to call it right now. Then this, I just had a free page, so I decided to take some pictures that really relax me. And I just put like, this is a little quote. I don't know if this actually said anywhere else, but I was like, what do I think when I write? Or when I read? And I think about losing myself in another world. So that's what I put at the bottom here. Lose yourself in another world. And then up here it's just write, read, live. And so far I think this is my favorite page. Then I have brain dump, which this specific brain dump page is just for like thoughts on everything in general. Not just Project Valentine, but any like future projects I have. Like if I had the project page or whatever, where was it? Project ideas. I have these and everything, but the brain dump page is going to be like stuff I will need for said project, research I'll have to do for that project, or just like little doodles of what comes to mind when I think about it. Then I have a free page I'll use for anything, and then we get to Project Valentine, which doesn't have a lot of pages into it, just because I haven't worked on all of them. I had to stop because I was getting too excited and I wanted to get into this world and work on it a bit. And I can't do that if I'm going to the hospital tomorrow. Because something I didn't bring up is my aunt has to be restrained. So, because she has a feeding tube in and she has a trach in her neck, and it's just impossible for her not to like yank something out. She's actually already got that trach out twice. So it's not a fun time, and she has to be unrestrained for 48 hours. They started out by saying 5 days, but then they changed it to 48 hours. That she has to be unrestrained before we can take her home. And she fights everything. So we're trying to get her off the vent. She should have already been off the vent. She was off, then they put her back on, and then now they're weaning her for no apparent reason. Again, they've already weaned her 2 times off of it. Then she has to have a BiPAP whenever she sleeps, and she has to be unrestrained during that. And basically we have to sit beside her 24/7 if she's sleeping. And granted, she usually only sleeps like 4 or 5 hours at night and everything, but the person that's up at night, which is gonna be me, has to stay up all night just in case. So I'm not gonna have time to write or anything while I'm at the hospital. People think that you'd have plenty of time to write and read, and granted, I had a lot of time to read while we were in Frankfurt Hospital because they had her sedated, but no, I've had like 0 time to do like anything. I've actually just played games on my phone, and then I've read, I think, 4 books in April, and that's since we've been to Kendrick, so that's all I've had time for. While we're in Frankfurt, I read 6, but that's for my wrap up. Anyways, getting back to this, Project Valentine, I have the summary, which I kind of messed up on the lettering here, but this, I've never actually tried to summarize Project Valentine, so this is going to be me attempting to do that. I am not looking forward to it. This probably won't be filled in until I actually finish the first draft, which is probably not the best thing to do, but my brain is always changing stuff, making stuff more detailed, taking stuff away. Did you chew on my leg? But yeah, my brain's already actually changed the layout of the school several times, which the first layout change I liked, then the second one got better, and then this third one, I'm like, what am I doing? Because it's even better than the previous ones, and now I'm thinking I need to draw like a complete floor plan and then 3-dimensional structure of what this place looks like now. That way I can't change it, because then I'll be too lazy to do it again. But that brings up world building. This does have some fantasy aspects, so I do need to do a bit of world building. Not much. This one page is more than enough to fit all the world building in. And there's not really any words that you wouldn't know from just the regular English language. So I don't really need to do anything on that. Location bank is something I've given myself 4 full pages for because I am very meticulous when it comes to locations, and I want to know every little thing. What it sounds like, smells like, what little details, like is there a crown molding on something. This is stuff you guys will probably almost never see in my book, except for like maybe the smells and sounds and stuff coming from the place. It's all things I want to know, and I'll probably like make like little pictures to go along with each location. I mean, even the stairwell has its like own original design, and I've already changed the design of this stairwell 3 times. And I blame Pinterest on that one because I keep finding stairways that I like a lot better. But yeah, that's for that. Then I have notes to self and then research. Research I really don't have to do a whole bunch of, but the setting of this place, this is set in the future, but not like too far into the future, and this is a place I've never been before. So I do need to do a lot of research on the city itself because they are going to go out into the city a little bit. But yeah, note to self is just going to be like odd and end things. Brain dump page is strictly for Project Valentine, nothing else, and that's just things I've come up with, things I've changed, things about the characters that have, you know, kind of popped into my head, or the characters have been screaming at me that I just need to remember. Then I have character log, and this is a page dedicated to every character, including their Hogwarts house. It's just a basic rundown of, I guess, a character summary, and then the details pertaining to that character. And I have, this is where I've ended. I've got a page separated for each character, and that's it. Not even all the characters, just most of them. But yeah, I just spent way too much time talking about this when all I planned on doing was doing my challenge jar. I didn't even plan on doing the life update. This was supposed to be a completely different video. What am I doing in my life? And can you stop that? Yeah, but now it's time to actually get to the TBR jar. So, I would have done that really fast and just popped the top off, but I'm afraid Kai would get to it before I would. So these are for May. This one stuck to my finger, so we're going with that one. And this one. Okay. So the first challenge is read a book with more than 500 pages. I'm gonna have to look into that because I was planning on reading the entire Legend trilogy and all of, what's the second trilogy called? The Young Elites trilogy. I'm not sure that's the actual name of it, but I was planning on reading that. So if when those are not over 500 words, I'm gonna have, or 500 pages, I'm gonna have to find something else. The next one is read a horror book or mystery. I think I'm gonna have to redraw on this one because I don't actually have any at the moment, and that kind of, I don't have time to go to the library. So we're gonna choose another one. We'll go with the green one. Okay. This one is a book written / told in multiple POVs. So that's nice. And I do believe that all of the Legend trilogy is told in dual point of view. So that works for that. So I'll be reading the Legend trilogy for that one. I just don't know what book is going to be read for the 500 pages challenge. So I guess we'll find out once I do my wrap up. Not my next wrap up. Wrap up number 3, whichever one whenever that's gonna happen. But that is it for this video. It turned out being 20 minutes longer than I anticipated because I didn't plan on giving you guys a life update. I didn't plan on, well, okay, I was gonna do a life update, but I wasn't planning on actually including that much detail into my writing journal. If this is something you guys want me to go more into once I've finished it, let me know, because I plan on doing like chapter breakdowns, and then it's gonna be like progress trackers and everything else that I have yet to put in here that I want to include. Just, you know, it's hopefully going to be less stressful on me once we get home from the hospital. But yeah, if this is something you want to see more of, I'll kind of do a video like I do my bullet journal flip throughs. It'll probably just be one big video. If I do something like that, it's not going to be like a series thing. But if that is something you guys want to see, let me know. I'm not going to do it unless you guys want to see it, because that is just, I'm already having so many problems keeping track of the videos that I do need to make. But that is the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!